Welcome to 2025. Happy New Year to you all. My New Year spring clean has begun today, 1st of January 2025.
As happens on the canals, December 31st, plan in place. January the 1st, plan defunct. It's been scuppered again.
So, welcome to my video.
Well, it's a chilly January day and I'm here at Thrupp, which is a very small village but well known to boaters because it's got facilities here and two pubs, well, a pub and a cafe and another pub very close by. You can see the boat in the background here, which is a very pleasant place with a nice atmosphere. So this is my mooring spot here at Thrupp. As you see, there's quite a few boats here, but it's quite a handy spot because you can see there's a power point, so I've got I've got shore power. There are a series of pipes hidden away in the bushes here which connect down this way to a water point. You can just see that green bollard, and so yesterday I was able to top up the boat without moving, which is handy because on Monday I've got to get an engineer in. Something slightly odd was going on. The engine was smoking a bit and the oil level seems unnaturally high. So I've spoken to a local engineer before Christmas and he'll come down next week and have a look. And this is a very handy position because just along if I walk along the towpath here in about 15 minutes or so I get to Kidlington, which is just north of Oxford, where we've got couple of shops, supermarket type shops and cafes, but also there's a little pathway that goes in just here which leads out onto the road, and then I can get the bus into Oxford in about 25 minutes into central Oxford. So it's very convenient all round. I've been here a couple of months now for the very common reason in the winter. The next move I was going to take was to go onto the Thames for 82 miles down to Shepperton and go onto the Basingstoke Canal, where I had discussed with them having a winter mooring while I was having some medical tests and procedures done. I wasn't able to get onto the Thames, and that's probably it now for the winter, because the Thames can go very fast flowing red boards, as they say, for months on end at this time of year. So I've just agreed to stay here for another, to the end of January at the very least. So I've got one more test to do in the middle of the month. And then I was going to turn around and head north. I had a plan, and as always, over Christmas we were discussing it with Marianne, and I thought what would be nice would be to have another go at getting to York. The first time it was heavy currents in the River Soar and the Aire, and further up. For this Christmas just gone, it was because of the medical situation, which is not serious, it doesn't seem, but it's just things that need to be checked out. So I was thinking I could go up the Oxford Canal again and across the Trent and Mersey and on to Middlewich, onto the Bridgewater Canal and round to Wigan and on a little way to Burscough, and maybe meet up there with my daughter and her family. And then I could head up across, sorry, there's people walking about there. I could then head up across the Pennines, through Skipton and Leeds, and up to York. That was the plan. Unfortunately, so that was the plan as of the 31st of December. Unfortunately, at 6 a.m. on the 1st of January, the Bridgewater Canal suffered an extremely serious bank collapse. One of the other vloggers did a very graphic video on what it was like to be there when it was happening, and the canal emptied itself across the countryside. And it's not only one bank collapsed as I first thought, but it's actually washed out the entire canal bed, so the other bank has collapsed as well, and it's flooded quite a large area of countryside. So it's going to be a big job, and the Bridgewater Canal might be closed for some considerable time. I was reading this morning that the last time this happened on that canal in 1971, it was 1973 when it reopened fully. So, as happens on the canals, December 31st, plan in place. January the 1st, plan defunct. It's been scuppered again. So, I'm looking at options. So, we'll have a look on the map for that. I've been thinking about a sort of a plan for this year, and so first point is to start with my wall map. I always use this for the first stage of planning because it saves time. You get a quick view of the whole country and see what's going to be possible. Actually, before I do that, have you noticed my Christmas present from Marianne? A beautiful pastel portrait of Flan, which it was so incredible. When I first looked at it, my first reaction was that she'd had a photograph blown up, but it's not. It is taken from a photograph that was taken in Marianne's house a few years ago. But beautiful picture. This is the country, so we've got London down there, yeah, Birmingham and so on, and of course up here is York, our destination, just there. And I was going to go, I am all the way down here. This is the bottom of the Oxford Canal, and I was waiting to get out onto the Thames, but I've now given up on that idea. Otherwise we could be here for another 2 or 3 months. So the plan was to go back up the Oxford Canal through Banbury and Cropredy and up almost to Braunston, and then go through places like Nuneaton and across through Stoke-on-Trent up to Middlewich and up to Preston Brook, and then to join the Bridgewater Canal and go along here over the Ship Canal on the aqueduct, and then through places like Lymm in Cheshire and Altrincham and on to Wigan. And then I was going to maybe do a small side trip down to a place called Burscough, but then from Wigan go across the northerly Pennine route through Leeds onto the river system here and up to York. The idea of doing that was it avoided all of these rivers, which was what I tried to do the year before last. These are the rivers that were in flood and causing problems. So I thought if I minimise the number of rivers I have to negotiate, it increases my chances of getting there. Unfortunately, the break in the Bridgewater just about here has happened, and I've just been looking online to try and get some news. No, it's too early to know for sure, but everyone is expecting a significant delay, because I'm not sure how long a section it is, but it's at least 100-150 meters or so has been completely washed out. It is an odd drone shot which shows almost like a zip fastener in the canal, but what it is the sides had steel palings driven in, and then the Armco type barriers, which a lot of canals have, and because the banks have collapsed completely and the water rushing down has pulled those two sets together, so they've actually joined in the middle of what was the canal. That's not the only way to get to York, so the alternatives that I could do is go back to plan A. So we go up here as before, through Braunston, and then up to Foxton again, and through Leicester, going onto the River Soar there, and then carry on past Nottingham and go up that way. Now, depending on how much rain we get, that could be a problem, but it's perhaps the most direct route. The other thing, which is a bit more exciting possibly, would be again to go up there, but to go through Birmingham and across to Wolverhampton, and then on the Shropshire Union Canal, and go all the way back up through Chester again, where I spent that time last year, but all the way up to Ellesmere Port, and there organise a pilot, and then go out initially onto the Ship Canal and out into the Mersey estuary, and journey up to Liverpool and go into the Liverpool docks. From there I could go into Salthouse Dock, where I spent some time 3 years ago, and then from there I would go all the way around the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, round to Wigan, and then go over the Pennines. So the big thing there is the Mersey estuary. I've not done that before, but it is an established canal boat route. You get the right weather conditions, and you have a guide with a VHF radio, a pilot.
My New Year spring clean has begun today, 1st of January 2025. I'm tackling the kitchen, and as you can see, I'm just in the process of moving everything around and cleaning and then repositioning. You have to make a mess before you can clear a mess, I think.